Well, good evening, everyone. Hey, it's Linda Anderson here from Linda Lou Creates. Thanks so much for joining me. Finally starting to feel better, feeling like getting in my craft room and creating. So, major plus for me. I appreciate you hanging in there with me. Tonight, I have one card to share with you. This card features some fun new products that are coming out in the annual catalog, and this really cool background is what I'm going to share with you. So, first up, the products. It is a bundle, and it is called He's All That. It's the stamp set, the dies together, saving you 10%. Fabulous, fabulous masculine set here. Also, let me bring this a little closer without making the camera go too crazy blurry. Look at the circles. That is a fun stamp set, a fun die set called Stylish Shapes. Look at all those awesome shapes there. So they have that little pierced detail on them. Really makes them fun. So these are the two products. And the background then is all done using the scoring board. So this is how it goes. Let me just set this off to the side, bring in the products then and the that I use. So if I don't drop them, here we go. I got my stamping done ahead of time, a lot of my die cutting done ahead of time. This stamp set, or this stamped image, it was done in Bermuda Bay ink. Circle then, this is gray granite, as is the card base. The card base is my favorite top folding, which means that it is 11 inches by 4 1/4, scored right down the middle at 5 1/2. I have inside a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of basic white. This sentiment here, I thought this made kind of a nice anniversary card, is how I was thinking of it, together for the long haul. So that's why I went with that. You mean the world to me. It's actually out of another new stamp set, Botanical Layers. So I love the mix of the font, the script, and the print. So yeah, I thought that was pretty awesome there. So that's the inside. Now, the outside also is a piece of the basic white. I'm using the thick for this outside piece, and the reason being is I just like the way it scores. So that's the only reason I chose the thick. Again, for the outside, it's 4 by 5 1/4 as well. So I have a couple extra pieces, and as you saw, my little cheater here of it already scored, just in case I goof up majorly. So, all right, let me move stuff out of the way so I can have room to bring in my scoreboard. So, here we go. I want to make sure I have it in frame. You see I have a mark here. I am using 6 inches. That number does not matter. I just wanted to use something that was an even number, and I'll explain that in a moment. I also have one, I don't know if I can get it all the way down here without bumping things, but I also made a mark down here at the bottom, all along that 6-inch score. That helps me then whenever I go to do this technique. I have my 4 by 5 1/4 piece of white. I'm actually going to do it on the diagonal, and I am going to put it here on the 6-inch, and all the way down here, let me hope I'm in frame, is the 6-inch line as well. I have it marked with a marker there, a Sharpie. So I have this going straight down on that 6-inch score line. So let's go ahead and score it. Now, I'm going to go 1/2 inch all the way over. So that means if I did it at 6, I'm looking at 6 1/2, 7, 7 1/2, 8, 8 1/2, and then this ends at 9. That's the only reason that I like it on starting on an even number, just because I'm going, and you don't have to do 1/2 inches increments, but that's what I like to do. And that way, by starting on this 6-inch, I can very easily then go 1/2 inch on doing my scoring then. So Did you see what I did? Here's all my score lines. All I did was turn it, and I'm going to place it again right back here into my 6-inch score line. I already have that one scored, so I don't need to do that one again. So all I have to do is go to the 6.5, 7, 7.5. You're going to get tired of me saying these numbers. 8.5 and the 9. Now, as you can see, it's a nice diagonal scored background. You could stop there. I just decided to go and do it going. And so all I'm doing, instead of having the score lines running this way, I want them to run now this way to create that diamond pattern. So here's that 6-inch from the top. Let me find my bottom mark, and I have it right in that channel almost for the 6 inches. Let me see. Yep, there we go. All right, so here we go, right down the 6. And yep, you know those numbers now. So we're here at 7 now, and all the way down. I did a couple of these and I wasn't paying attention, and I messed up. So it can be done. Again, you could stop here with just half of it being on the diagonal and being done completely. But let's finish it up real quick. It's going to be quick making after this. So, all right, I'm in that 6-inch channel from top to bottom of this. So let's go ahead now and go again on our 1/2 inches then. So that's 7. Here's 7.5, 8, 8.5, one more, and 9. And there we go. I hope you can see that. I hope it picks up nicely there. Now, again, you could stop there. Let me just move this out of the way. However, I want to make that pop, really to see those score lines. So let me bring in just some scrap paper, and I have 2 colors of ink. I have Pool Party and Gray Granite. The colors don't matter, you pick. I wanted to get a couple of them, just create the backgrounds and use all kinds of different colors of ink. I thought that would be fun to then see, you know, what the inspiration is then based on the colors. So what we're going to do now is the direct to paper. So let me open up that ink pad, and I'm not going to lay it flat. I am going to have it angled. I just want this top portion of the ink pad to make contact with my paper. So it is a little curled. Let me just straighten that out. Okay, so I start off the paper, off the cardstock rather, and drag it down. So here we go. See how it's starting to pick that up? I also like to flip it around. Notice I'm only kind of going in one direction, so to speak. So what I'm going to say is top to bottom is the direction I'm going on this. And I'm going to stay that way. I'm not going to pull it then from side to side at all. Do it as much or as little as you want. Now you see a couple little lines here, little, I don't know, streaks where the ink pad kind of swiped over on top of itself. Don't worry about it. Your second color will help to hide that. So, Gray Granite now. Same technique, same direction, everything the same. So, here we go. So now I'm going to add that on. I am not pushing very hard. I am just keeping it at an angle. I'm going side to top to bottom rather, until I like the way it looks. One more pass through here, I think. There we go. I'm going to stop right there. And doesn't that look awesome? It really then adds your color, not so much in the grout lines, I'm going to call them. It just keeps those white and makes everything else, oh, it just adds some awesome dimension. I just really, really like this. So here's where we're going to now. We've created this cool background. Let's get it on a card. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down. Because this has been scored, I'm not going to be stingy with my adhesive. I'm going to make sure a lot of it is covered. All right. So here we go. That awesome background. I love it. I love it. Like I said, I want to try it with some other color combinations. So that will make it fun. So, all right. This is the pool party and the gray granite. So here we go. I keep moving this. I guess I could get this out of the way so I'm not constantly moving things and making you dizzy. So here we go. I have those two circles, the one that I stamped on using the Bermuda Bay ink. Here I have these two little banners that were die cut from the All That dies. This one right here cut the two of those out. All right. So what I'm going to do is straight across the middle, I'm going to put a little bit of glue because I'm going to adhere them as if they were one solid length. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and just adhere them, make sure they're about the same length sticking out. And there we go. So like I said, I want to make sure that it looks like it's one piece instead of the two that I used there. So from here, I'm going to get my dimensionals out. And if I can find them, oh, here they are. There's always something that I feel like I'm missing when it comes to my Facebook Live. Something has to always happen, doesn't it? So let me just, put down all my huge amounts of my dimensionals and putting them on top of this circle of the gray granite. So, and again, I'll bring back in that die set that these circles came from. So, all right. Let me get this down. And then I will pull that in. Okay, so there we go. We've got that done. Those circles came from this Stylish Shapes set of dies. Something that you'll be able to get in the new annual catalog once it goes live. This now is going to get popped up onto the card front. And then we're just going to add a couple embellishments and call it done. When I have a really cool background like this, I don't want to cover it up with a lot of stuff. So that's why I'm only going with just this simple sentiment here. So here are the rustic metallic adhesive back dots. And these are actually part of the suite of this He's All That. So this kind of all comes together in the same suite. So some awesome designer series paper comes with it as well. So all kinds of fun stuff. So if you are in need of a catalog, please let me know, because like I said, it is going to be going live soon. So I certainly don't want you to miss out on it. So, all right, there we go. That is my card for tonight, sharing this really awesome scored background using the direct to paper method too. So no two cards are going to or backgrounds rather, will look alike. It all depends on the pressure you use, how much ink you apply. I would love it for you to try this. Use some different color combinations of inks. You can use 1, 2, 3, however many that makes you happy with what you want there. So for the background. Now I'm working on another background. Didn't get it quite done for tonight, but that's going to be next week's card. I'm really excited about this one because it involves using one of the stencils, and I have come to really love stenciling. So be sure and join me next week. Otherwise, have a great week. Happy opening day of the new annual catalog, and I hope to see you again next week. Thanks again for joining me, guys. Bye now.